Party does not want me as a leader.
Here. FBI is doing their investigation. Some aspect is coming back.
Wealth is not trickling down to the people of Guyana.
There will be additional questioning that is required. And that's of course, I don't get involved with that. Yeah, brother. It is important for Venezuela to understand that Guyana will not be bullied, threatened, or intimidated. Hello, good morning. Yeah, brother.
This man tell me.
I am aware that the People's Progressive Party does not want me as a leader.
Here. FBI is doing their investigation. Some aspect is coming back.
Wealth is not trickling down to the people of Guyana.
There will be additional questioning that is required. And that's of course, I don't get involved with that. Yeah, brother. It is important for Venezuela to understand that Guyana will not be bullied, threatened, or intimidated. Hello, good morning.
In the most serious manner and form, opposition select, since as a result of my following on social media, I have a larger constituency than any politician, political party, or individual politician in this country, whether it is the opposition, the lesser opposition, or the government. Now, we have experienced an unprecedented transformation since 2020, and we have experienced much political variances from 2015. Most Guyanese at this point in time know our differences. We have an understanding of our differences, how we're affected, and what we expect from governments and opposition. At this time, unfortunately, we have no opposition that is in a position to hold the government accountable. This is a matter of fact. The format here, the opposition leader select, and I say opposition leader select every time because I have not vied for any political posts, and I have not been voted for and appointed to any constitutional posts. I, on the other hand, have been selected by the multitudes of people ahead of anybody else to speak for the people against any wrongdoing or shortcomings of the government. I can tell you at this point in time, I am not reading from a script. This is my understanding of the environment that we are in this country, and my way of giving back to the people who continue to support me and look forward to the work that I do. I have just chosen to take a more serious approach. Hence, opposition leader select. You can't have a government that oversees a natural resource fund like never seen before in the history of this region and not have somebody to hold them accountable. And you have a situation in our country where one political party, who is now the lesser, we will refer to the PNC, APNU as the lesser of the two oppositions, has whole and sole interest in power. The now soon to be enter into parliament, elected opposition, has the sole interest of an individual staying out of prison. No other purpose. Never before had that individual who is now voted in as the opposition leader have an interest in politics. He had no interest in helping people before he became a member of the United States OFAC sanction list. He had no interest in politics before. So Guyanese have found themselves in somewhat of a conundrum where the citizenry are between a rock and a hard place. Because what happens in Parliament, it is the opposition who holds the government accountable. And is there corruption in Guyana? Now one has to ask oneself, how do people become corrupt? How do politicians become corrupt? Where does corruption exist? Anywhere where there is a large movement of money, corruption exists. Hence, if the largest movement of money is taking place, presently the largest movement of money in the history of Guyana is presently taking place now, one has to ask, is corruption so elusive that we cannot see it? Or it is because the political opposition is blinded in two ways. One by the need for power, and the other by the need to stay out of prison. There needs to be somebody that is going to see the government, see the shortcomings, and have the issues of the people addressed. We will be doing that on a weekly basis. Whether it is true having the people concerns aired, having question answered, and putting the hard questions before the government. That is the only way. I, as a result of a lot of pressure and public demand, have caved to those demands. Because I have no interest in being a part of government at this point in time. The government has just been elected. I have no interest. What I know is that people are playing a part in government, in parliament, that should not be there. The world thinks so. How is the world? How does the present makeup in parliament play well for geopolitics in the Caribbean? How accepting people are going to be of Guyana? How does the world see us? You know me as a host. Some call me a so-called journalist. But can anybody trust Aubrey Norton or Azzedine Mohammed ahead of me as it relates to holding the people accountable? From the days of the parking meter to today, many things about me, my mannerisms, could be questioned. But nobody has ever suggested that I participate in any form of corruption, or could prove. Many might have suggested, but can prove such. We will come. I will come on a weekly basis at a time to be set soon and hold a press conference where we will listen to the people's issues, have debates with persons from government, from opposition, where we will have serious discussions and find serious solutions to the problems people are having. For now, you could reach out on 740-62107 and ask your questions. What would you like to see done as a Guyanese citizen? What would you like to see more of? What laws would you like to see changed? I am hoping through this forum, the government could receive constructive criticisms, not an attempt to bring down the government for one's own political gains, not an attempt to attack the government and go into government with one's intention to stay away from prison, but the intention of changing the government's modus operandi to better serve the people. That's the intention of Opposition Leader Select, Michael Rodriguez. We'll take our first caller. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Yes, turn on the thing in the background there. Somebody's asking, have the government increased the retirement year? I think you got to rephrase your question. We'll start with some of the comments. I think you got to rephrase your question. I don't understand. Reshuffle the whole police department. Very much needed. I agree that there needs to be a revamp of the Guyana Police Force. There needs to be some extent of reform in the Guyana Police Force. I am in totally agreement with that. There needs to be a robust and rigorous reform process that will see the training of members of the Guyana Police Force in a more professional, to be more professional. And as the government has taken a posture of a people-centric approach, I think the Guyana Police Force should be more receptive to people. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, brother.
You hear me clearly?
Loud and clear.
Alright. I want that politics. I see that one like this.
You're speaking to Opposition Leader Select Michael Rodriguez. Yes. How can I be of help to you, sir?
Okay, sir. Opposition leader. The last time I checked with pictures, no opposition leader.
Select.
Oh.
Who might I be speaking with?
Chief.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something, right? Why?
If you ain't got nothing for contribute, this is not the Guyanese Critic Morning Live. You've tuned into a press conference with Opposition Leader Select Michael Rodriguez, and will be treated likewise. They need to look into the NDCs. Yes, very much so. I feel every citizen should use the opportunity, the upcoming opportunity of local government elections to express their frustrations to the government for the need of change in the neighboring democratic councils. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Critic. One thing I want to point out I think is a good idea is that the government should create some kind of incentive plan for government workers, including police officers, firefighters, and stuff like that. What do you think about that?
You got to expound a little more.
So usually when a lot of, like you said earlier, corruption comes with where there's a lot of money movement, right? And there's a very high risk of the corruption within the police force, and I believe that the reason for that is because you got a lot of officers who don't work for what they believe they deserve. But if you create some kind of an incentive plan with years, behavior, and certain findings within what they do in the public, it would be something that they could look forward to, maybe something on a year-end bonus, some kind of thing, but an incentive plan that it goes up and up as you behave in a certain kind of way within your role.
Well, I think we've ended up in the conundrum of whether the chicken come before the egg or the egg come before the chicken. Because one of the things I do not think we do as Guyanese, and this is not to blame opposition or government, one of the things I don't think we do is measure efficiency. Why do you work? Why not train people to be more professional, to earn their keep, than pay unprofessional people who are unprofessional already to hopefully do better?
I agree with that. What about overall training within?
No, that is, I just spoke about reforms in the Guyana Police Force.
Yes, I think that's...
So you start from top to bottom with reforms, and if you consider what reforms are, first thing you got to assess what the problem is. Upon assessing the problem, what the problem is, then you see that certain people are underpaid, certain people are overpaid, certain people are unprofessional, certain people are corrupt, and then you implement policies and guidelines that will transform the issues that you're having.
I agree with that. Yeah, so they should do a full audit.
Roger.
Plans.
All right, buddy. Thank you for your input.
All right. Yeah.
You understand? Somebody's saying, Nicola Rodriguez, I disagree with the caller. It is a behavior. They need to be rigorous. Accountability, thus they need to, well, that's what I'm saying. Does the chicken come before the egg or the egg come before the chicken? Let's say we raise everybody. How does it change anything? How does the administration of the Guyana Police Force, hello?
Hey, Critic.
Yes, you gotta be quick about it, sir. It seems that you're slow-witted.
Yes, concerning this thing that we're talking about.
No. We have to discontinue association with this individual at this time. It is very difficult to deal with dim-witted people and get anything serious done. Yes, let me go back to the questions, behavior, discreet, opposition select, we need public transportation. Yes, it is important that the government look at the public transportation system. We here at the Opposition Leader Select's office have received complaints only this morning of persons crossing the Demerara River from Stabroek to Vredenhoop are facing issues on Sunday where the rate is doubled and persons are harassed if they do not pay that rate. The maritime authorities, which come under the Ministry of Public Works, need to look into that and ensure that citizens' rights are not trampled upon. We need the government to look into that. I believe Mr. Critic training Muhammad how to be opposition leader in a sarcastic way. You can't train, knowledge can be trained. It has to be acquired. You can't train certain mannerisms. Hello, good afternoon.
Good morning, boss. What do you think about the police commission inquiry department being reformed?
The police commission inquiry is not a thing. I don't know what you're talking about. A commission of inquiry is a body that articulates itself in a certain manner to inquire about certain things or investigate certain things. There's no commission.
When people got complaints, right?
The Police Complaints Commission.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So they come to Barbies like probably every year?
Yes.
You don't think they should expand on that?
Wait a minute, you're suggesting that they come to Barbies too little times?
No, I'm saying that they should have more agencies in that forum.
In terms of police complaints?
Yes.
Well,
a lot of police are getting away with stuff that nobody's taking action on. That's why the corruption continues.
Well, if I were in government, I would try to have reforms within the Guyana Police Force that would visit those areas too.
Okay, here our next one now. These judges, in America, the judges, they put them in front of the house whenever there's problems. What do you think about that kind of reform too?
Well, firstly, one has to have a good understanding.
As opposition,
one has
call on non-law for that.
One has to understand the background of the judicial system in our country and our constitution, how it's made up. It is a little different from that of the United States, but
stuff like that.
If given the opportunity, if I were ever given the opportunity to govern, I could tell you there would be a complete overhaul of the judicial system.
Yeah, they're all listening to you.
Right? There would be a complete overhaul of the judicial system. Only recently.
Most of them are activists.
Let me complete, sir. Let me complete. Only recently, the chief magistrate acted, by the way, within the law, within the pretext of the law, gave an individual a suspended sentence of 4 years. That individual was given a 4-year suspended sentence for having in his possession an unlicensed firearm. That individual has gone on to be caught with another unlicensed firearm. And only yesterday, the police issued a statement as it relates to their grave concern of the same magistrate putting an individual who basically threw acid on his former partner's face, who is still in hospital. That individual was given bail, given the grave nature of domestic violence in our country.
But I've been watching a different show that says that's not the individual. It says the police prosecutor is asking for a video that the guy actually led it, but he didn't do it. There was somebody else that did it.
No, but if a man is a mastermind to a crime against his former partner, how would you let him out? Why would you let him out? If somebody is so deviant, bear in mind, we're talking about giving him bail in the first instance.
Yeah, that's why I said.
What kind of message is the judicial system? What kind of message is the judicial system sending to the population? What kind of message is the judicial system? Because
for that.
Well, there needs to be reforms. There needs to be reforms, and I will be reaching out to the Attorney General for some bit of an explanation as to what does this government plan to do in cases like this.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Most welcome, sir. Can you explain what is the portfolio of opposition leader select? Well, same, all, nothing different from the opposition in parliament than the opposition leaders select. There's nothing different. I, on the other hand, provide my services, since I have been selected, provide my services to you free at cost. We don't dip in to the coffers. The last opposition leader, Aubrey C. Norton, was opposition leader at the tune of $1.8 million per month. So whether he did or did not do anything for 5 years, you, the citizenry, paid $1.8 million a month for the services of Aubrey C. Norton. Today, you have opposition leader select Mikhail Rodriguez, who is doing this with the intention to see change or affect change in my country. There is no constitutional appointment for opposition leader select in Guyana, I must say, at this time. It would be interesting if the government could facilitate some amount of finances for me to go across Guyana and air the people's concerns and have them address it. Since at this point in time, I'm saying the opposition leader select position has no interest in political appointment, but more in keeping a rigorous and robust process in place that critiques positively on the government with the intention of having change, betterment for the people. Critic, the Wales police station is corrupt. To how long you do not have money to give them, they wouldn't help you. You gotta give. It would be, now again, to make sure this doesn't go down a path. This is not entertainment. This is serious business. You send your issues and your concerns. You will have the opportunity at one time every week. I think 2 o'clock during the day is an opportune time. It may be Friday. We will hold a press conference. Fortunately, because today is the first day for this, and we had to get everything together in a short notice, I wasn't able to invite the media. But there are going to be times at our press conference where we will be addressing the president, the vice president, ministers who have gone away, and the opposition. Effectively being a third force that really and truly has no political aspirations at this time. And please do take what I say seriously. No political aspirations at this time. At this time, there is a grave importance for serious leadership in this country. It is my opinion as opposition leader select that the country is in the best hands with President Mohamed Irfan Ali, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, and Prime Minister Mark Phillips at the helm. Nonetheless, people have concerns and issues. And if the person bringing those concerns and issues to the government is adversarial to the government, Do you think the government will have a listening ear? Do you want to continue to cry for help from the government? Or do you want to present your issues to the government and have them addressed? When Parliament is convened, look at the makeup of the lesser opposition. A racist, David Hines. A woman who jumps and dances and flaunts herself all about the place. Flubes, a teacher. A failed trade unionist. The mayor of a town that is not very effective and efficient. Who will sit down and talk to these parliamentarians seriously? Imagine the duly appointed and elected opposition leader. Elected, I am selected. Imagine the duly appointed opposition leader sitting in parliament and speaking about corruption, while his name is on an OFAC list, being part of one of the greatest corrupt acts ever perpetrated in the history of Guyana. He will be able to speak for you? How so? Tell me. Who will be receptive to him? It is not funny. It is not funny that there is no single individual that will be entering Parliament at its 13th session. There is no single individual that is of an upstanding nature and background that could hold the government accountable in Parliament. Imagine the government were to be oppressive to the opposition leader. Who can he go and cry to? The UN? The Americans? Who will he go and speak to? Who will he complain to? Who will he write a letter? Oh, I am opposition leader Azadin Mohammed, opposition leader / sanctioned individual, soon to be extradited. Guys, this is of a grave and serious issue. There's no joke here. All jokes aside, imagine leaving the government. The government has done well. They have done well for the people. And they have garnered the overwhelming support of the people. Imagine leaving them. And in the process of doing what they're doing, they become unfeathered about the people's issues. They get comfortable. It is human nature for people to get comfortable because all the government is getting presently is praises for what they've done. They have won the election in Guyana by a landslide. They have sent what used to be the main opposition back into the ice ages. If this government is not taken seriously and held accountable, they could start becoming complacent and not serve the people at its best. I am suggesting to you, the government needs to be held accountable by people who they take seriously, not by jokers. The supporters of Usbrock, can this GOG please consider an assistant cash grant for mothers with toddlers who are not in school yet? Can the government well, when you get a child, they're given $100,000. Is it every aspect? I must say, as opposition leader select, I do not support in any way, shape, or form the methodologies used by the government. The handout methodologies used by the government. People have become so dependent that they don't see the importance to do things for themselves. I, as opposition leader select, will in no way, shape, or form support that. If I was given the opportunity to govern or play any role in Parliament, the methodologies of giving handouts and cash grants for any and everything would be curbed. I can't say I would do anything with the school cash grant. Very much needed. Very much accepted by the people and very much respected by me. But this government, at the drop of a hat, have been given cash grants for everything. 4 people sneezed in a village, cash grant. Like they got flu, get them some cash grant. I think that's counterproductive. I think create environments that would have people be able to take care of themselves. Work on cost of living, make life affordable for people. Not everything is a cash grant. Nobody wants to work anymore. We were facing hardships for 5 years. The government helped in every way it could. Do not forget, the people's money is not finite. We don't have an infinite amount of money. Yes, we have a windfall from the natural resources found. Oil. We have a windfall. That has to be used wisely. I don't think the government does in every case. Handing out cash grants willy-nilly to everybody. What is it done with? People doing hair, clothes. Who gets it? Any monitoring system as to how the children benefit? Will we be doing a review on a yearly basis to see the mothers that we give the cash grant for the children, that they've been sending those children to school? Will we be having higher attendance rates when you have the biggest cash grant ever given to children? Will you be having high attendance rates? How do you monitor it? No other part of the world, people have been given so much freeness in 5 years. You don't even get it in Norway. If given the opportunity from the opposition select office, we will not be lobbying for any such thing. Education, more gold scholarships. There's already free education from nursery to support farmers to be able to carry down cost of living. Put price control in place. The government has done everything. Even farmers get things free. And they've capitalized on this and hiking prices, hoarding things. The people crossing the boat, if they're not efficient, crossing the people from Stabroek to Vrede Hoop, put a ferry. Put competitive extensive situations in place. Public transportation, the buses are overdoing it. Put big buses to run from West Coast to Georgetown, East Bank to Mary to Georgetown, East Coast coming down, that people have the opportunity to make informed decisions for themselves.
Bro, just tell all who look for cash grant that you tell you to inform them that they know one. Oh Jesus Christ.
Literacy. We down here at the Opposition Leaders Select Office will be working on literacy. No one has to ask whether I too am transforming myself. It is evident. If there's anything to be learned from these press conferences, it would be transformation.
I agree. You have many children that do not go to school. The cash grant is just one way to stimulate the economy and offset prices in the car.
It's not been doing that too well. Because you get the most handouts in 5 years and will still cry in wolf. It's not been very effective. Even with the children crash grant. And again, the Opposition Leaders Select Office is holding the president to his word that they would have been an instrumental, there will be an instrumental cash grant for Christmas. I will not turn that down because he promised it. If I were asked if they needed a cash grant for Christmas, I would have said no. But the president promised a cash grant, and we are holding him to that. He didn't put a number to it, but people are expecting a cash grant for December. We will hold him to that.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, I'm looking at your program. I'm calling on local government issues. I know that we should be having local government election coming at some time, but we have a lot of...
Within 1 year.
Within 1 year?
Yes.
But these people, they have like, they burn garbage all over. It's affecting person's health. And
well, if we're talking about local government elections, ma'am, I don't think we should talk about all over. Give us the specific neighboring Democratic Council you're from that you're affected in.
Well, we can talk about Linden.
Linden, okay.
Yes.
The township of Linden.
Yes.
Well,
the littering, and they even throwing the garbage in the river. And these are things that we need to look at urgently.
Okay. Well, I tell you, with an interest of holding elected politicians accountable, I who am just selected will be highlighting these issues, and I think the people should make proper decisions come next regional elections.
Local government election.
Roger, man.
Okay, yeah, because the river, they're polluting the river, and that is something that they need to look at urgently.
Well, I can tell you the extent of pollution in our country is not just the rivers. The people's minds have been polluted. But we need to look at it urgently. I agree with you.
Okay.
All right, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can I explain the new ID card that the government is ruling out? I must say, I would have to commend the government. So it is not a new ID card. It is a form of ID, a digital form of ID. It's not a new ID card. You'll still have your ID card. But it's a digital form of ID that assist the government in better understanding your needs, like the cash grant, who the person is, where they live, and all these things could be better understood with a digital ID. You could use your digital ID to make payments, collect payments, and as such, make your life more efficient. This is one of the things we at Opposition Leaders Select Office are in support of the government with.
And if you go online, you would hear all you need to hear about so let me take some messages from the WhatsApp. People should secure the border for foreigners taking advantage of Guyana's new wealth and gas. I could tell you there are no foreigners taking advantage of Guyana's wealth. And if given the opportunity,
we would forge alliances, as the government has already done, with more than capable countries like the United States of America to ward off any incursion by Venezuela. Much thought has not been put into foreign policy from my perspective, since again, this is just me holding the government accountable on behalf of you with your issues. The Opposition Leader Office has had the resources, background. The past Opposition Leader Office, who is now less of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, would have had background, history on his side, being supported and backed by the PNC. The second oldest party in the history of Guyana. So if you ask someone such as myself, who have now entered into this arena about foreign policy, I would have to be reserved about my answers. Not because I'm totally inept about it, but because of the fact that even the failed opposition have a better understanding. Now we call them the lesser opposition, has a better understanding of foreign policy and background on foreign policy than myself. I would have to look to guidance from the government. And I can say, in my capacity as a journalist, I have seen the president done extremely well as it relates to foreign policy and warding off Venezuelans' aggressions. As it relates to the immigrants, there was a time in this country where we sought refuge in Venezuela. And as much as it is worrying and concerning, the amount of immigrants coming here, if you go on all the construction sites, you would realize the development of this country is highly dependent on the immigrants that are here right now. You can't get your roads, your bridges. You can't get the level and speed or progress at which infrastructure development is moving forward without the support of immigrants.
hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Is this Critics?
Yes, sir. How can I be of help to you?
Yeah, I'm calling from Toronto, Canada, and I understand that you have been the chosen person to talk.
Selected, yes.
Selected person.
As a result of the numbers in social media platforms and everything else, I have the largest constituency of any individual in this country. I've not been elected, but selected. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I've been looking at you, and I think you have a very nice program there. But here it is. I want to get to the point, right? What the issue that we're struggling with right now is that the issue of adverse possession. for people who have left Guyana for a long time, and then their property is being taken over by prescriptive rights.
Is this Good Hope we're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Berbice area. I'm calling on behalf of my father, who's 90 years old, and he's unable to travel. Right now, a family member has, and this has been ongoing since he was 80 years old, about a decade ago already, and the issue hasn't been resolved yet. The court system, I have respect for the court system, but it's moving at snail's pace, right? And I'm just wondering, Dad's pushing 90 now, and I'm wondering, when is this thing going to be resolved? Basically, what's happening? Are you still there?
Yes, sir. Listening to you.
Yeah, basically what's happening is that the lawyers are just having a field day with delay, all sort of delay strategies, throwing curveballs, and nothing is being done, right? And we have spent in excess of 100,000 or 150,000 Canadian dollars to fight for what is rightfully my father's, right? Basically, a family member is taking prescriptive rights on the property, and the courts is listening to this and not dismissing it.
Well, if you were to send the details of the matter to me, I could ask the Attorney General to look into it.
Well, am I on air right now, or just having?
Yes, we're live.
Okay. So this is the problem, right? And
if you were to send the details to me, I'll ask the Attorney General to look into it.
Yeah, but that still doesn't solve the problem.
Well, I wouldn't be able to help you, sir.
Yeah, then looking into it is one thing, right? But it's just...
Well, it got to start somewhere. I am not fighting for your land. Is the government fighting for your land?
No, it's a...
What exactly do you expect?
Well, the expectation is that for the government to enact the proper legislation to ensure that these things are dealt with expeditiously.
So if I were to get it from you and ask the Attorney General to look into it, wouldn't that be the beginning?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So what are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about...
Send the details, I'll ask the Attorney General to look into it.
Okay, no problem. Fair enough.
One of the problems we have, and I can tell you as opposition leader select, is I am no fool. I will not be made a fool. I will not play the fool. It has to start somewhere. There are many fools in and out of Guyana that are Guyanese that assume they understand the prospects. Are you asking me as opposition leader select to lobby for something? What are we going to change? If you were to ask me to change something, your 90-year-old father has an issue. What is the issue? I don't know. Some land issue you're hoping to have resolved before he dies. So you're hoping to have your father's issue resolved via constitutional reform before he dies, and not the case itself? God rest his soul. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Critic. Thank you very much. You're on the right track. I want to compliment you for one quick thing. We have to encourage competition. We must encourage competition in every area, especially in transportation. And I think you will be a good leader in terms of being leader select. One thing we need to encourage for us to bring the food prices down. Just don't give cash grant. Let's encourage them to go out and do kitchen gardens. We need to do something to bring food prices down.
Only yesterday, day before yesterday, in the president's press conference, he spoke about integrating agriculture and urban development. So yes, kitchen gardens are coming.
Yes, and if that, because look, I'm living in New York, but I live in also in Georgia with my parents. In 3 months, my parents planted a kitchen garden in New York and reaped 6 different cash crops.
Congrats to your parents, sir.
Yes, but if they can do it and they're 90 years old, those young people who are waiting for cash grant need to stop it and do something with their life.
I hear you, sir. Not to say everybody's not doing it. Recently, a young lady reached out to me from the East Bank of Demerara that took one of her cash grant, 100,000 cash grant, and she started mining some chickens. She's having some difficulties now, but nonetheless, she has done progress.
She's making every effort for contributing to her own personal life. Not waiting for a cash grant. The government is making up this big mistake.
All right, sir. Thanks for your input.
Thank you. Sure. Okay. Bye-bye.
I agree. I am not too fascinated by the cash grant babies. So let's go through. I will go through the messages sent out. And we can't answer all at every time because the opposition leader select press conference will be only for 1 hour, one time a week. There's still the opportunity to have different things discussed on my morning live. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon, sir. Sorry. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, buddy.
Yeah, critics, good afternoon. Yeah, I call in concern some stuff is happening in Parica. I hope that you can look at.
Well, I'm live now and we're highlighting it. What is the issue?
Yes, but that's what I'm trying to tell you now. On 2 occasions, the president was down here and I bring this issue up with him. We spent over $300 million to fix the Parica to Mora Road, and it's not been fixed. It's still in a deferrable situation. That's one. 2 is between the Parica Coca and the Parica Turn, running parallel to the supposed Del Cante Highway. There's a street there. The land that was designated for the street was donated by proprietors back in the days. The government, under the direction of the Minister Indar, who's no longer with Public Works, was giving out these lands to squatters. And this has been happening.
That is utter nonsense.
It is my point.
You listen to what I'm telling you. No, listen to me. You're speaking utter nonsense. The Minister of Public Works can't give out no land.
Sir, it's not like if you do an investigation, we have evidence of this. If you do an investigation,
send the evidence to me immediately.
They went there on.
Send the evidence to me immediately.
No problem.
Roger that. Just utter nonsense. You even say the housing minister. The Minister of Infrastructure giving out the land. He giving land. And the people give the land for Mill Road. Utter nonsense. And that is one of the problems with the opposition. They jump on anything and everything that people say. To hold these people accountable, you got to get them in the wrong. You got to catch them with wrong things. If you're going to hold a government accountable, you got to catch them when they're wrong. You don't blame them for being wrong, like the opposition and the lesser of the opposition. Oh, critic pump station, no proof, no evidence. And then it just becomes a cry. You want to cry? And people don't take you seriously. If you're going to get into politics and you're going to critique on things, you must confront people with things that make sense. And with politicians, not making sense to the politician alone, not making sense to the government alone. It must make sense to the people. If you're doing the people's business, it has to be taken seriously. Good day. Not all roads reserved to be clear from in front of business. It would be very much appreciated if when you guys are sending in your issues and concerns that you would like to be addressed by the opposition leader select, that you do so with evidence of Because it's not a talk show, it's serious business we're doing here. The country does not have a viable opposition. Hence, the opposition leaders select office has been created. We're not taking money. We're not taking money for the coffers, from the coffers. And if you look back at 1 hour program press conference with the opposition leaders select office, you'd realize that we might have done more than the opposition leader for the last 5 years that was getting $1.8 million a month. We have done more in the beginning of our work as opposition leaders select in 1 hour than that was done by the opposition leader elected for 5 years at $1.8 million a month. Now we would be looking at things in depth from the opposition leader select office. Whereas when you claim corruption, oh, they're building a road and this road cracked, we will go and get the evidence as to what is the cost, who's the contractor, and call names and hold the government accountable. I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to serve you, and you could look forward to the announcement of what time next week would be the next press conference by the opposition leader select. Thanks once again.